6 months ago, I bought this camera, the one you're watching me film on right now. Back then, I made a video about it, but since then, a lot has changed in my opinion in this camera, and I've used it in so many different scenarios. There's just so much more for me to go over and unpack. Also, I am going to be filming on this camera for the rest of this video, so not only can you guys hear what I'm saying about it, but you can see how it performs in a vlog setting like this. So first of all, I wanted to talk about some of the things that I really have liked about this camera in the past like half year of using it, and the first one is definitely autofocus. Just hold on one second. The autofocus is actually really responsive and really fast. I'm pretty sure it's dual pixel autofocus, like the second version for Canon, and just like the way it can pick up objects quickly and then snap back, it just amazing compared to what I used to use. And of course, there are a lot of settings that I still need to change and things that I have changed to make it better. Like you can choose how fast you want it to go from one subject to the other. You can choose what you want it to detect. Right now it's on eye detection. You can choose it for animals or objects like cars. But for now, this is just a good setting for everyday vlogs. And another thing that actually influences the autofocus is the lighting. So if you have bad lighting, it's not gonna pick up objects as quickly. Like when I lift this up, it's not in as good of lighting or as bright of lighting because it's a darker object. When I pull it back down, it snaps back to my face because that's what it's meant to do with the light on my face. Having good autofocus is very important, especially if you're gonna be making vlogs or just making these type of videos, say product reviews, things where you need it to be able to snap back and forth from one subject to another. And that's one of the main things you definitely don't want to cheap out on if you're getting a camera. One of the categories you need it to be good in. Because if a camera's not good in autofocus, it can have the best resolution, it can have the best frame rates, it can have the best everything. But if the autofocus is bad, then it's going to be out of focus, so what's the point? Now, another thing that I've actually really been loving about this camera is its low light capabilities. Since it is full frame and newer, this Canon R8 can actually do pretty good in low light situations. Like say when it's in the evening, almost getting dark, or when you're just in a room with not good lighting making a vlog. One big factor of how good it performs in low light though is what lens you're using. For example, my kit lens right now that I have on, it's gonna have to crank the ISO way up because I have a lens with not a very wide aperture, but even then you can still get a clean looking image with like 3200 ISO, maybe even higher than that while you're just indoors at night with the natural room lights on. I've used it in multiple different situations in darker settings and it has performed pretty good. In fact, it barely gets grainy. And for most people, unless you're used to like the FX3 or something, the low light performance on this camera should definitely be good enough. Whether you're doing things like cinematic spec ads or just events later at night, or even just vlogs like this, it'll definitely be good enough and perform to a point where most people would consider it acceptable. The reason why I put this down on the list of some of my favorite things about it is because that's something I didn't have in my old camera, so even a little bit is very beneficial. So would I get this camera specifically for its low light capabilities? Absolutely not. Does it perform well in low light situations to where I'm happy with it? Definitely. Now the third thing I'd put on the list of things I like about this camera has got to be ergonomics. The overall way it feels, how the grip is, how light it is, everything, all of that just goes together to make it very nice in your hand. And for filming handheld things or just photography, it feels very good. You don't really have to worry about, say, it slipping or it just getting annoying. Say you're vlogging, your arm's up and you don't want it to be too heavy. It's gonna be good enough for those situations. The depth of the grip for your hand when holding it is so deep compared to a lot of other cameras that it's just perfect for carrying around for long periods of time, filming stuff like I'm filming right now, or more so if you're on the other side of the camera taking videos or pictures of subjects. And just how small and compact it is, especially for what it can do, is insane. For all the time I've been using this camera on the other side of it, taking videos of things and pictures of things handheld, I've never had a single complaint about the way it feels in my hand. And in fact, I don't even know why this is number 3. I'd say this has got to be up on the list. This is one of the best things. Also, bonus thing, you don't have to worry about it like bulging out of your camera bag just because of the size, and it's not going to be super heavy on your back, which makes it a good camera for traveling. So if you do vlogs or you're on vacation a lot, bringing your camera or just going on hikes, this will definitely do the job. Now, if you've been paying attention at all through this video, you might have noticed that I've been talking a lot about its picture capabilities and video capabilities because that's what I use it for. I know a lot of people have a photography camera and a filmmaking camera or a videography camera. My dog's barking. Yeah, a lot of people have 2 separate cameras for doing 2 separate things, but I use this one camera for everything. So that's another thing I really like about it, which is its hybrid capabilities. Canon definitely didn't cheap out in either aspect just to make them both decent. For cameras in this price range that are full frame, this is one of the best ones that's gonna get you photo and video uses. Am I talking like that? I mean photo and video quality and features and all the stuff that you normally want in a camera if you want it for both. Because you're not gonna bring carrying 2 cameras on a hike or walking around in a city unless you're like a professional photographer or something. But if you're just casual, just taking pictures, taking videos, maybe to post them, this is gonna get the job done for both. And it's not just like kind of half decent in both. It definitely measures up to what it should be in both categories, which makes it a great camera for content creators who not only want to take videos but also want to post pictures. I've used this camera for multiple different photo shoots, different kinds of pictures like portraits, landscapes, a bunch of different stuff, and it has performed great in all of them. And then for video stuff, I've used this camera for spec ad work, short film work, vlogs, talking head YouTube videos, basically anything I've recorded in the past 6 months. So now you know why I recommend this camera, why I think it's good for almost anybody. But now I'm gonna move on to talking about why if you have this camera, you won't need to upgrade for a long time. The main reason I won't be upgrading for a long time is because what this camera, the Canon R8, can do is more than I'll need. As far as resolution and frame rates go, this camera can film in 4K 60, I'm pretty sure. And right now I'm still filming in 1080p. Now the reason I'm still filming in 1080p is because the computer I use for editing won't even work yet with 4K. So the potential I could be using is filming like in 4K, using C-Log 3, all that fancy stuff. But right now I'm basically just using the basics, probably only like 60 to 70% of its potential. So there are plenty of other things I have that still need to be upgraded before this camera, including my knowledge. Of course, I can't finish this video without people starting to mow their lawns again, but I wanted to end it saying this. First of all, the Canon R8 is a great camera and I would highly recommend it. Second of all, you really should try to use your gear to its max, even with all these new fancy things coming out. What I used my last camera to was to the point where most people I had ever seen on YouTube did not even do that, and I'm planning to do something similar with this camera. So don't fall for all these marketing tactics from these big companies that even I like and support, and learn how to use the gear you have before getting more. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.